am going to do just a little bit of work and commenting in my Society of Idea Collectors art journal. Yes, it is growing. It is growing every month. I have some experiments that I've been doing that I want to put in my Idea Collectors because these really are experiments. These are experiments that I did with the FW inks. I wanted to see how bad they would soak through on various different kinds of papers. And this is an experiment that I'm going to continue to work on in this video, where I was experimenting with ultra thick clear embossing powder in my Friday Night Live. And I had put a base of acrylic paint here, and then I did this really neat oval. I was trying to create a frame around the page for a picture, but by the time I got back to this, I'd done a lot of experimenting over here. I had taken a paper towel and I could just wipe everything away, which was kind of disappointing. What happened over here did not wipe away. This is fully embossed. I also did not have this fully embossed, and there was a lot of glycerin on this page. So I'm wanting to experiment some more with this in the video, and I'll probably experiment on the back. I had also worked on some black. This is just black paper out of a photograph album. I wouldn't even call it construction paper. It's a very thin, old photograph album. I put the clear embossing powder on there first, and then I hit it with some ink, this yellow greenish colored ink. And over here, I actually mixed the glycerin and the ink. So just some experimenting. I will come back to all of that though. What I want to do is go to my mind map sections, which is way at the back of this huge journal. Where am I doing my mind maps? Right back here. And we have not been doing a lot of mind mapping in the Society of Idea Collectors. Most of my mind mapping has taken place in the My Creative Year project. But we did one last night in our live. There was a comment that says, let's mind map Albert Einstein. We had a lot of fun doing that. In the process of doing that, I found a new W word. So this is a special call out to Dede. She had the who, what, when, where, why, and how questions. And I added why not, what if, what else, whatever, and where else. But last Friday night, we came up with another one. And it is, I'll write it here, Dede. Where shall I write it? There's no more room for these questions. I'll have to do me another master layout of this, but I'll just write them on here for now. It is going to be, take note, Dede, this is a new word. It is going to be wow. And what is wow? Well, wow is an area where you've done your mind mapping and you've run across some really intriguing, something that really intrigues you. You just go, oh, wow, 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 you know. It either is a really good idea that you got from the mind map, or maybe it's a fact that you never realized, some fact about color, or some fact about a person or a thing. It's a wow moment. I will be adding all the wows to my future mind maps. But Dede, this is especially for you. Wow! The new W word. It's spelled the same way, backwards and forwards. Wow and wow. And if you turn it upside down, it's Mom. So, cool. Very cool. So I'm going to set this aside. We'll come back to, we're going to work on this page in this video. And then after I'm finished, I'll come back and put these pages in my Society of Idea Collectors journal. The question in my live on Friday, as we were experimenting, was, can you mix glycerin with the inks? Can this be tinted? Now I'm going to try it with the inks, but there are other tinting pigments out there. There's ink tints, there's watercolor. I don't know if watercolor itself, maybe the pigment, if you like the ink tints, if you shaved it off on there. But I'm going to use the liquid acrylic to tint this. And I'm just going to try some experiments. And then this is a clear embossing powder. And I'm going to do the same thing that I did over here. I painted it on the glycerin, the tinted glycerin on first, and then I put the clear embossing powder over it and tinted it. And I'm going to work on this side of the page, which has an acrylic base on the back. So let's just do a little bit of experimenting. I'm going to mix it using my palette knife. So you just need a drop of this glycerin. It's really an oily based substance. And I'm going to, let's use this sort of a reddish brown to tint with. I'm just going to drop it in there and see, it does mix in there. There's nothing in there that's preventing this glycerin from being tinted. Look at that. Now I'm just spreading it on this page. I want it to be thin because I'm going to put my embossing powder over it. And I'm going to use it as a base. Question is, will it wipe away? Now this is still a little warm. There's a spot in there, but will it wipe away with my towel? The answer is no. I do get a little of the ink coming off on my towel. Let's get a white spot here. So my towel's white, and let's just see what wipes up with the ink. It's oily. It's still oily. But no, that is embossed. I can feel that there are bits of embossing powder that did not get heat. So there's some loose embossing powder on here. But for the most part, I would say yes, you can tint glycerin. And I want to turn it over now. And I'm going to work up in this corner because I've worked over on this corner. So this corner here, if I work here and put heat on it, it's going to affect this. I'm going to work in here, and I'm going to see if I can do the same thing. It's warm to the touch, but I can still touch it without anything coming off on my hands. Now the question is, last night I almost wiped this entire area clean on this gold side. This does not have an acrylic substrate on it. There's just nothing but paper and ink on this. I cannot wipe this away. I am wiping on it. This will not wipe away. This is embossed. I really do like this. So the question is, will this wipe away? And I believe there is some wiping away, but not a lot. See, I'm getting some ink off on it. The ink probably would not soak into the paper. So what did not soak into the glycerin is coming off on my towel, but I do not see a lot of it wiping away. There's some. It's kind of chipping in there. So why did it wipe away the other night? Well, that was a live session. There could be several reasons why when I did this. Maybe it was, maybe I just did not have it embossed enough. There's some of it is, see how that area there is growing bigger? Some of it is wiping away, but not a lot. Not enough for me to be really concerned about. So sometimes when you're doing things live and you're talking to people and you're trying to concentrate on your work, you forget where you are. My reaction, just doing these tests, is this is still successful. This is still a successful technique. I just don't think I had it embossed enough last night. And of course, if you don't emboss it, that glycerin did not soak through. Of course it wiped off. Everything wiped off. But I am not wiping it off here today. So even with the acrylic base, there's a little in here, but I'm not sure what's going on right there. Now, the other question is, will it chip? After this dries, sometimes this ultra thick embossing powder will chip. And I can feel a little of it cracking in here. Just a little, not too bad. It's fairly good, but those chips and cracks don't bother me either. So yes, I think this is a successful technique. I will probably go back and create the page that I originally meant to. Not on this page. I originally wanted to do a picture frame and have it be like an old metal picture frame. And maybe I'll get a little bit more creative with it now that I know that I can add this ink into the glycerin. What I want to do is put my ink tests and my embossing test in my Idea Collector's Journal. I'm not sure. I really don't have a section for testing, for experimenting. And I don't have all my tabs in here. That's another thing I'm going to need to do. So where am I going to put? See, I've got these too. This is my March syllabus pages. I've already got weeks 1 and 2 done. I've started on week 3 over here, just getting what I want to put in there. I need to work on filling out my calendar days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'll do that tomorrow, though. I usually don't plan out my days. I just kind of record some things. So this is getting very thick, but I'm not quite ready to take out my pages yet. I like my really thick Society of Idea Collectors. Look at that. Isn't this cool? That's coming from Lucia's tag and some eyelash yarn tags there. All of these really fun folder bands. Let's put it on here to hold it closed. I might have to put some of this strong Gorilla Tape on the sides here because I do notice it's starting to cut in there. But how fun! What a fun experiment. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next page.